Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I am going to do your July the 1st, just for today in a meditation. Can you believe it? It is July the 1st of the year 2022. And I hate to say the year because this will always be available to you every July 1st. However, I'm just excited that the year is getting along in such a fine fashion. Again, my name is Mighty Stream, and I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation. And this is our Hood Recovery Services. Hood is an acronym. If you haven't heard me before, welcome to the podcast. Hood is an acronym, HOOD, that stands for Hope Offered on Demand. Isn't that catchy? I love it. If you need to reach me, please reach out to me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and get into the just for today. It's very early here, but I have a really busy day and I wanted to make sure that I don't miss this opportunity to spend with you this morning. July the 1st, a simple program. The program is simply sharing, working the steps, attending meetings, and practicing the principles of the program. Our, our complicated lives can be made a lot less complicated if we concentrate on a few simple things. Sharing our experience, strength, and hope with others, regular meeting attendance, and practicing the principles of the program in our daily life. By sharing our experience, strength, and hope with other addicts, we provide a powerful example for newcomers to follow. The effort we put into helping others also helps keep self-centeredness, the core of our disease, at bay. Many of us pick one group, a home group, whose meetings we attend faithfully. This regularity gives some routine to our lives and lets others know where they can find us if they need us. Practicing the 12 steps in our daily lives makes the difference between a balanced recovery and simply not using. The steps gives us some much needed guidance in managing our everyday affairs. Yes, we are complex people, but the NA program simplifies our lives, enabling us to live a life free from active addiction. Our lives can be filled with serenity and hope when we live by the guidance of the simple principles of our program. Just for today, I will remember that while I am a complex person, NA is the simplest way for me to make my life less complicated. I enjoy that reading. I enjoy it because I know it to be true. I enjoyed this just for today in a meditation for July 1st because I know it to be true. I'm a highly complicated lady. I've been complicated since the day I left my mother's womb, and I'm sure you have too. That's how we ended up, actually. That's how we ended up in recovery, right? We ended up using drugs to alter our perceptions because our perceptions were so complicated. They were like enigmas, they were mind riddles that even we could not figure out. They made sense to us until someone questioned us, and then we had to revamp them again. We were concentrated on our looking better than other people, feeling better than other people, being the top dog, being more powerful. And we could not stand constructive criticism. We could not stand to be challenged. And every turn that we found ourselves being confronted on something that we felt we were right on, we would do whatever we needed to do to get the upper hand. The upper hand meant that we could use when we wanted to, and no one would question us. Huh? So for me, I can absolutely say that this reading is 100% on point. I was super complicated, even when I didn't need to be. I had to have all the answers and I had to be right. because that afforded me the liberty of doing what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it without being questioned. And I'm sure if you look at your own story, your own circumstance, you will find the same to be true, right? But the beautiful thing about recovery is that it helps us to simplify our lives. There's just a few things that we need to do. It's very simple. Share our experience, strength, and hope with others. Go to regular meetings, find a home group, and attend that home group regularly. Now, if that home group meets every day, you might not need to go to a meeting every day. But pick a day, at least one day, and I would recommend every other day, right? Because this is spiritual feeding that we get. And I can't imagine any of us, unless we're fasting for some medical procedure or we're deciding to, do a season of prayer and fasting. I cannot imagine one person going without nurturing themselves with some form of food and drink every day and several times a day. So it's kind of like the same way of thinking. We need our spiritual feeding on a regular basis. So if you don't make a meeting every other day, why not every other day? If you haven't done 90 and 90 in years because you've been around a while, what's wrong with doing 90 and 90 now? You don't even have to go to in-person meetings, actually. You can do Zoom meetings and you can raise your hand in that platform and share for however long they allow you to share and give the newcomers some hope. There are so many newcomers. I used to serve on a international NA meeting quite regularly. And I would take the odd hours, right? I would take those wee hours in the morning where everyone in America, other than California, would be sleeping. I would take those odd hours, and it was such a privilege and an honor to see newcomers come into those meetings on Zoom and start celebrating. They would introduce themselves as newcomers with 24 hours clean, and before you know it, they were at 30 days and 60 days. And some of my best friends today in recovery now have over 2 years clean. And they started their clean time during the pandemic using the Zoom platform. Those are NA meetings. You can find a home group there if you're not comfortable making the ones in person. Now, I would dare to say that the ones in person, they used to be so comforting to just see faces and to think that there's this camaraderie, this community of people with a similarity called the disease of addiction, taking the time out of their daily lives to come to this meeting for an hour or two and greet one another. Some of the parking lot conversations were just beautiful. You know how we used to say, go to the meeting early and stay late. Welcome the newcomer, right? Maybe you can be the person that welcomes the newcomer and tell them, hey, so glad you made it here. We left the light on for you. Come in, grab a seat and sit all the way down. I challenge you. Get your cup of coffee and sit there and sip that cup of coffee and make it last for the whole meeting. I challenge you to listen for the similarities and not the differences. I want for you today, think about how complicated we made our lives using and how it was for you when you first came into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. And I want for you, whether it was a bad experience or a good experience, right? I want for you to be the good experience for the newcomer, right? I want for you today to make it up in your mind to keep this program simple for the newcomer, right? There's just a few suggestions in here, and I want you to go back. I want you to go back and look at them. I can read them to you, that's fine. Share your experience, strength, and hope, make meetings on a regular basis, and practice principles of this program in our daily lives. Meaning, find a sponsor and work the steps and start living them. so that you can say you've had a real spiritual awakening, an impartation of step 12, what, right? That we are able to apply these spiritual principles in all our affairs. My good friend Donald H. is deceased now, but he used to always say, if you cannot apply these principles in all your affairs, then change them. Change your affairs. I challenge you today to be that person that helps the newcomer to see that it's not that complicated. You made it here, probably not by yourself. A nudge from a judge or your family started to do interventions with you and told you, listen, we're tired of you lying and cheating and stealing from us. If you want a relationship with us, you need to change. Otherwise, get gone, right? So some of us didn't come here necessarily for ourselves or because we wanted to, right? But the reason that we're staying is because our lives are so much more improved. I know mine is. I'm probably, if I might be exaggerating if I say I'm living my best life, right? Because I do have some health challenges and I have some fires, some different irons in the work, right? I have some different things going on. But all of those things individually bring me such joy. Now, when you put them all together, it takes time management, it takes peace and serenity. It takes, mm, yeah, it takes a connection to my higher power, to God, right? For me to be able to do the things that I'm doing. But you best believe, you don't see my face right now, but I am smiling ear to ear. I am a very peaceful, happy, spiritual minded, productive member of this society. And I believe it's only going to get greater later. Today is July 1st, the seventh month of the year. Perfect beginnings. And I hope that for you, right? Let this be the month that you decide where your home group is, or if you have one, that you're going to make your home group on a regular basis, and you're going to allow the newcomer to be attracted to the program of Narcotics Anonymous by the example of spiritual principles that you said. There's no model recovering addict, right? No role model recovering addict. I understand that, right? But there's probably some things, some areas in your life you could afford to clean up just a little bit so that that light of recovery is shining through you. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I've met a couple new people through this podcast yesterday, and I'm ever increasing the content day by day. It's always going to be available, right? I want you to listen, like, subscribe, and share with other people. I want to grow this community, this small community of 25 people or so. I want to grow it organically, right? Because I believe that God has given this to me to do because it gives me such happiness. Every day waking up and spending time with you, it means so much to me. Oh man, maybe sometime I'll share my story. But I was talking to my nephew the other day, my great nephew, and I was telling him I retired with an illness. I got my retirement package early. I was a young woman. I want to say I was in my 30s. I want to say I was in my 30s. But when I got that package due to illness and went on long-term disability, I had worked so many hours from about the age of 12 or 13. I want to say 13 for sure. I worked with a youth program, and within a short period of time, they said, this young girl is very articulate. We want her to do our commercials. So I started doing voiceovers and going to the studio and recording commercials for Youth Opportunities Unlimited. They call it the Wild U in my town. And that was such a privilege. So I have been earning income for a long time. When I was given my retirement disability income, do you know what they told me? They told me, we have never met anyone this young having accumulated this many hours of paying into taxes. They were amazed. And it was just one of the benefits, one of the blessings of that season. I don't even know if they would do that today, right? And I'm so grateful that even though I still have anxiety, I'm so grateful that God is allowing me to come out of that season. I don't even use the term disabled anymore because I have far exceeded all that they thought I would ever be able to do. And this is just the beginning. I'm so grateful to Hope Through Navigation for taking a chance on me and giving me an opportunity to test the waters. And I see no reason to go back to being labeled disabled. I rhymed right there, right? I see no reason to go back to that because I have found my niche in life and I'm very comfortable with it. And I enjoy what I do, reaching out to others and giving them hope. Yeah, I would consider myself very blessed. And I want that for you. I want that for you. I want for you to figure out how you can be more involved in the process of recovery, keeping it simple, not complicating it, not only for yourself, but for the newcomer. And one lady reached out to me, and I know for a fact she doesn't know I do this podcast, right? She reached out to me because of another meeting I was on regularly. And she just said, I want what you have, and I'm trying to figure out where I can go to get some of that good recovery. And I said, there's so many meetings that are good. But you know what I'm going to do? In the next 24 hours, I'm going to send you a list of the ones I make. How simple is that? Right? How simple is that? I'm not worried if she's stalking me or anything like that. I'm not even concerned about that. I want for her recovery process to be beautiful in the beginning as mine is after 28 plus years. August 28th, I have 29 years of recovery, and I'm amazed. I am amazed. I have been clean more than half of my life. I have nephews and nieces that have never seen me high. Can you imagine? I have great nephews that have never seen me high. They have come into my life at the best time of my life, and we have a good time. I want that for you. My name is May Stream, and I will talk to you tomorrow.